So chapter 50, A Dying Wish. I read this chapter title. Like, I almost didn't read the chapter title, but then, obviously A Dying Wish, you're like, so much emotional roller coaster through these. Again, last 5 chapters of her books, just straight emotional roller coaster. You just expect it. It is what it is. He just got cured of the plague. Got a true form Eldrin. Like, amazing. And again, dude's like 18, maybe 18 at this point, depending on how much time actually elapsed during his travels from New Nora to the excavation site and all this other stuff going on. So 18 years old, has a true form. Other than Rashawn. Rashawn's an asshole. We don't like him. We don't want to give the company to Rashawn.
He cheated, though. He didn't earn his. He just was born an asshole, so he got his.
He just happened to have been able to bond with the correct thing that he happened to be.
Yes.
So we digress. So with A Dying Wish, Volke is just going straight beast mode now. He's got a broken leg. He got shot in the back with a bullet from the Unicorn Arcanist. Just, he's not fully physically recovered. Obviously, he got all of that strength for the magic from becoming a true form and being relieved of the plague, but obviously not everything was healed. He decides that he's going to do his best to try and find everyone else to make sure that they're okay, because Fluffy was told to take off after the rest of the everybody else, Karna, Adelgis, Fane.
It took me a second, but I got there.
Oh, it literally just clicked with me as soon as I said it. I'm like, oh, yay. So Volke is now determined to at least make sure that they are okay. Even though he's able to see through the dark, he does get turned around. He ends up getting lost. Doesn't go back through the way he's supposed to. He is starting to realize that he, again, doesn't feel right, and he starts to feel like he's dying. And it reminds me back at Dread Pirate Arcanist, where he says that misfortune is his only sibling. And again, we're slowly seeing him degrade. And on the plus side, look at the boxes we're supposed to be checking off here. Cure the Arcane Plague, check. Finding out more information about the Second Ascension, check. Taking out the Autarch, we'll leave that one off. Can't check that one off yet, but he did destroy the excavation site, and he got rid of everything else. So he decides that he's basically at a point where he can die peacefully. Even like talking, like, dang it. Even reading this a second time, it did not keep me from tearing up. I was actually sitting at work, and I'm just like, oh gosh, why did I do this to myself? So, invokes illusion, or basically a mirage comes to him of Illia, and that she is there. He imagines that she's there, and he says that he touches her and she feels real and everything, but he's like, there's no way. He does give Death the accolade for making it such a spectacular delusion. He finally tells Illia that he loves her and that he should have done things differently from the beginning. And she does tell him that she loves him back. Again, Volke is just making peace with himself, that he's dying and that this is the end. Illia kind of vanishes, comes back with Zaxis, and Zaxis comes over and starts to heal Volke. And I imagine that Volke is still like, this is some kind of delusion. Like,
this is the weirdest dream.
Right. Like, oh my gosh, like this would be perfect if it was actually happening, but it's probably not. So Volke finally realizes that he's not having an delusion. This is real. He finally gets healed enough where he's able to stand up. And Zaxis, of all people, are crying over Volke.
Never thought I'd see the day.
No. Back to the second chapter of Nightmare Arcanist, where they pretty much loathe each other from the beginning. Zaxis is crying over Volke, and he will never admit it, but dang it, it is written and it is in history.
We saw the tears.
So there's no writing this off. So Volke gets teleported back to where everybody else is from the Frith Guild. He gets dogpiled by Raisin, who has 4 heads now. 4, not 2, like he left off with. And Raisin's like 250 pounds now, so he's massive. We have Titania, we have Traces, we have the Kepra, we have Tyne, the Blue Phoenix, and of course, to top off the dogpile, Mesos, Captain Devlin's Rock, because she loves herself a good dogpile.
She does. She says, "You're my nest now."
Addie sees him after he gets out of the dogpile and runs up. In my headcanon, she runs up to Volke and gives him a hug. I mean, I imagine she like stops for like half a second to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," like showed too much emotion, get it under check. Okay, like I missed you, Volke. Hug, and she gives him some medicine to help with whatever he was shot with. Things are pretty much like on the up and up now. But I want it to be clear that Addie was the first person to basically run up and hug Volke. So obviously there's some kind of feels there.
He is a ladies' man.
He is. So as soon as he breaks it apart from Addie, Hexa dang near like knocks him over, tackles him, because she's so excited to see him. And then Eviana comes over and essentially is gonna like tries to tackle him, I imagine. But she's like as much as a leaf, so she doesn't really have the same effect that Hexa did, but we know your heart's in the right place.
You tried.
Right. As Volke is walking back towards the ship, and again, Sun Chaser is there, so the airship, Eviana will not let Volke go. And I like this, just because it's like, no, you ain't leaving. You got to train me now, okay? Like, we're nightmares. Oh, all right, we got to do the night. Yeah, we got to train me properly.
Especially now that you got your evolved one. I want one of those.
How do I get an evolved nightmare? I almost said evolved Pokemon.
First, you get it to level 36.
And then just stuff a bunch of rare candies down its throat until it... So Captain Devlin and Zelfrey are hanging out in front of the airship. And Volke's like, I got to tell you everything right now. And all of the plans that's going on with the Second Ascension. And Zelfrey's kind of like, okay, like, well, okay, let's get up on the ship here. Come on. We can discuss this on the ship. Like, come on. Okay, like the longer you're doing this, the longer it's taking. Get on the ship. We can start moving. Okay, come on. And one of the last lines in this book is Zelfrey saying, and we're also going to have a talk about how none of my apprentices listen to a damn word I have to say. You're supposed to be the good one.
We've been preaching this for so long. Nobody listens to Zelfrey.
Oh my lord. Again, it's like if you would just listen to Zelfrey for 5 seconds. I mean, they did it once.
And it worked.
It did work. They ended up being able to compete in the tournament like they wanted to. But he had to have a tournament to encourage them to listen. And with that ends book 4, Plague Arcanist. And, oh man, like I said, such feels. I know Shammy has constantly said that she cried writing the book. And she's the one that thought of all of it up. So, you know,
it's a lot of emotion.
I love this book. I love the very end of the book. Just chef's kiss. That concludes Plague Arcanist. And next week we will be going over, or we'll have the interview with Chad and Shammy for the tabletop game, along with the following week we'll be starting World Serpent Arcanist. Oh my gosh, we are officially halfway through the Frith Chronicles series itself.
The books get a lot longer, so we actually have a lot more content to cover.
Yep.
We're probably like a third of the way through, but
It's like the Harry Potter books, okay? The first few are the smaller ones. They hit 4, it's like, okay, it's going to take a little bit longer each time. Again, once we have the bestiary available, we will get working. We'll get that out there. And I think that's it for this week. We'll definitely look forward to seeing everybody next week with the tabletop game and then the following for Book 5.
Eric, Scott, and I want to thank everyone for listening today. We post a new episode every Wednesday morning at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, and 8 Pacific Standard Time. We are on all podcasting platforms and are also on YouTube as well for video. After the additional episode airs, we post chapter-by-chapter videos every day in a smaller, easier-to-digest format. We do want to give a special shout-out to the final member of our team, Dan Mackison, one of the admins for the Frith Chronicles Wiki, link listed below, and doing his best to keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes. If you want to reach out to us, you could email us at frithguildpod@gmail.com or on Facebook or any other social media by searching for Frith Guild Podcast. Just to remind everybody, we have links to everything in the description below on both the podcast and YouTube. Scott, do you have anything else you want to add this week?
We see Volke with his true form, and I'm excited to actually see it in play.
This is another one of those like little things of just, oh, why do you have to tease us like that? Give us nothing else.
Stay tuned. Everyone loves a cliffhanger, right?
Right, exactly. All right, thanks everybody.